What is up, everybody? My name is Zojalix, and welcome back to the Global Speedrun Association Celeste Any Percent League. We are in a quarterfinal match. We have Archie Gaming's Marlin versus Comet, and I am joined with, I don't even know how to pronounce your name.
It's all good. Hey guys, I'm Tilu. I calmed a match last week, so yeah, this is about to be a spicy race.
Yep, and so with this being the quarterfinals, we are going into a best of 3 elimination match. So rather than just doing the one straight match like we have seen throughout the rest of the season, there's going to be just a best of 3 series. The first runner to be able to achieve 2 wins in this best of 3 will be moving on to the semifinals, and they will be facing the winner between Psyched and Black Pair 420, which I believe that is the match coming up right after this one. So definitely you guys are going to want to be watching this, but this is going to be a really interesting match. Both Marlin and Comet are really good runners, being able to make their way to the make their way to the playoffs, and Marlin also being the first Celeste runner to achieve a 26 time in any percent is really awesome to see. So this race is going to be really good. I'm really excited. How you feeling about this race, Tilu?
Yeah, I have to say both of these racers are verifiably gaming. As you said, Marlin did get us 26, and he's been breaking some world records lately in R bios. So yeah, I'm sure both of these racers are probably going to put on a pretty good show for us today.
Yeah, and it looks like we are going to be getting started right now. Again, nothing. We got the prologue, nothing too much interesting happening here, but again, these runners are really good, and like Tilu said, this is gonna be a spicy one. So
yeah.
And it looks like Marlin is going to be coming out of prologue with a slight little bit of a lead, only about like couple of frames. I know Marlin has actually spent a good chunk of time practicing prologue to make sure that his bunny hops were on point, and it definitely has shown itself already here. And so now going into City, Marlin able to maintain just under a second of a lead so far.
Comet going for the Z-CAD route, going top, but missing his demo hyper and taking it down.
Oh
no! It's quite unfortunate.
Comet taking a death right there.
It's a pretty small death. So.
Yeah, small death, nothing too detrimental. A lot of mistakes in City are not too costly, unless you're in the room that Marlin is in right now. It's not really until you get into the later screens where they start getting more than just a couple of a second of a time loss. So this is still a pretty open race for anybody.
Yeah. Wow, Marlin pulling out the 59.
Oh my goodness, 59 in a race is so clean.
Alright, coming into old site, Marlin with some small movement slip-ups.
Yeah,
still going to be a few seconds ahead.
Very clean dream block activation there from Marlin as he is making his way up to the battle and chase, where this chapter really opens up. Oh, Comet retrying a little bit too early, and hitting the retry instead of skipping the cutscene, so that'll make him lose a couple of seconds there. Marlin with a 2:05 as he enters the battle and chase, so that'll be something to keep note of as we take a look at what the lead is, since there's a slight in-game timer desync. It looks like Marlin is going to be just under 10 seconds ahead. Got about a 7-second lead over Comet going into battling.
Ouch, Comet taking another death there, dashing a little too early. Yeah. That's the thing about that's the thing about having deaths in City. It can tilt you pretty fast. So
Yeah,
hopefully Comet can recover.
Yeah, that's something always really important to note when you are just speedrunning in general is if you're making early mistakes, you can't let them get to you and tilt you. Otherwise, that can just be it. All right, so Marlin now going to be heading towards the end of the chapter as he makes his way through Awake. Comet kind of missing his entry on the dream block, having to loop himself around there for a second.
Pretty clean
So
Awake
Marlin
from
is
Marlin.
going to be at a... Oh no, Comet retrying early again. Yeah, he is just getting a little bit too ahead of himself there as he's going about these chapters.
Yeah, Marlin exiting site at 3:14. It looked like. So let's see. Looks like he has probably around a 15 to 20 second lead now.
Yeah, about a 17-second lead for Marlin going into Resort. But again, Resort's one of those chapters where that could pretty easily change. So I'm definitely not giving my hopes up on Comet. Oh, Marlin kind of messing up a little bit of the strats here, having to go for a little bit of a backup, but he is able to make it through that first room with the Dust Bunnies without a death. And now he's able to get himself reset and back into the groove of his normal muscle memory. We'll see how Comet attacks this room as he's coming up to it here in just a little bit. Comet's able to make it through with the strat, so that will save him a little bit of time. Whereas Marlin having to go for the backup there because he messed up. I think he messed up on a corner boost, but I might be wrong.
I don't remember that well. I think he just didn't get enough momentum. In any case, he missed the cycle at the end.
Yep. Oh, and Marlin now is going to be sending his extended hyper and diagonal dashing straight up into the Dust Bunnies, taking a death there. That's going to be Marlin's first death of the run. So this Resort is already looking like somewhat of an opportunity for Comet to be able to make up some time. But again, this Resort has just started, so it's really too early to tell in a lot of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So now Marlin beginning his crate section of Huge Mess while Comet is making his way through the maze of blocks. Marlin playing crates extremely well. That went very well for him. So maybe at a 5:07 for talking to Oshiro after the crates. Comet's still looking to be a little bit behind.
Pretty good crates out of Comet as well.
But he's now sitting at only about 12 seconds behind, so he's definitely able to make up some time in this Resort already. Marlin is through books at 5:30. We'll see how Comet plays his out. Marlin's looked pretty clean, no major mistakes there to really make note of.
Oh, that was...
Now Marlin making his way, doesn't get the corner boost in Laundry. And a 5:41 hitting that, so again, making up just a slight bit of time. And we'll see how Comet tackles his Laundry. Let's see if he goes for the corner boost. He doesn't, he just takes the wall climb up.
Yeah, that's a pretty tough cycle to hit on entry. It's a lot safer to just take
oh no! And he dashes into the Dust Bunny. That, despite the screen not looking like much, that can kind of hurt, especially when you have to play the death cycle. So that one, looking a little painful. All right.
Definitely
Marlin,
costly.
Yeah, Marlin now on the left side, going up for demo dash. He's going for a checkpoint list, and he's got it first try. Very well done from him. Comet now just wrapping up his elevator shaft, and he's looking to try and make his way up to demo dash himself, and hopefully, I'm not sure if he'll go for a checkpoint list, but that is definitely something to keep note of, that Marlin was able to get a checkpoint list. So even if Comet does get it on his first try but goes to the checkpoint, that'll still be time that Marlin will save. Comet is gonna go for a checkpoint list. kind of messing up on the setup there, but is able to make it through first try. Doesn't save any time over Marlin. Marlin just had a cleaner setup and just was able to get through there faster, but still being able to get it first try is still definitely going to help rather than have him worry about losing his lead here. So now both runners are in the Oshiro section. Marlin looking like he's going to be wrapping his up here. And Marlin is going to snag the 412 for Oshiro, or for Resort, and a 728.
What a gamer.
Like, it was very well done.
Comet exiting at a 755, it looked like.
Yeah, so he's got quite a bit of a deficit here against Marlin. Lost about 8 seconds to Marlin's Resort. And that definitely just shows the clean play that you see from Marlin and the amount of experience. I'm not sure how long Comet has been running, but there's definitely, you can see just, I mean, for somebody with a 26 versus Comet, I'm not sure what his PB is, but you just definitely see the experience coming out in Marlin's play is even when there is a mess up, he still just flies through every single chapter.
Yeah, Comet has a mid 28 right now, so
mid 28.
Certainly
okay.
A very big difference. But yeah.
All right, Marlin now going for the berry strat, and he's got it. That was really fast.
Nice first walkways.
And now Comet is making his way through Ridge. He's going to be coming up to the same room, but I don't know if Comet is going to be going for the block bliss.
Yeah, he's just going to take the block. The ultra
Yeah,
strat,
which is understandable.
Yeah. The ultra the first walkless saves, I think, a couple seconds, but it's quite tight. So
yeah, it's a really, really dangerous strat. So it's really difficult, and so it makes sense for Comet just to play it safe, do what he knows, do what he's comfortable with, and then continue to make his way through the rest of the chapter.
Marlin coming up on cliff face now. The heavy wind section.
Cliff face is probably my least favorite section of the entire game. I do not like cliff face at all.
You know, that's a pretty fair opinion. Oh wow, taking a snowball to just go over all the springs.
All right, that was okay, Marlin. Okay, we see you. Don't worry, we see you there.
Man's gaming. Jesus. Almost exiting Ridge sub 10. Jeez.
Wow, he's at a really, really good pace right now. As Comet is now making his way through cliff face, Marlin is just running away from Comet, looking at him and saying, "Comet, eat my dust." As now Marlin's going to be sitting pretty comfortably at almost a 30-second lead here.
Ouch, Comet misdirecting that bubble.
Actually, it looks like Marlin might be sitting at over a 30-second lead at this point.
Yeah. It's looking like around 30, 33 or so, judging by this last room.
It's going to be a 34-second lead for Marlin going into Chapter 5. So a really nice spot for Marlin to put himself in.
Getting the cutscene skip warp too.
Yeah, nice job there for Marlin, as now he's coming up on Yeet, and pretty good, but he misses the last corner boost there.
Just depth. No corner boost.
Yeah, just depth.
Yeah. It's like a 1.5 second.
Marlin now going off the block there, dashing into the spikes. He did his diagonal dash a little bit too early there and ended up into the spikes. Now Marlin will be grabbing the tape 4-5A.
Comet also missing the corner boost. Both of them losing that 1.5 seconds, I think it is. It breaks even.
And yes, easy to answer your question. 5B has become the standard strat. I don't think there isn't a single runner in this league that doesn't do the 5B strat. Most runners even now are doing 6B in reflection.
I think 11 of the top 20 runners on the 80%
All
board.
right, Marlin's got a first try Bubs drop. Very well done from him.
Comet entering 5B now. Marlin going for a fast cycle here. It's very clean.
That's, wow, very well done from him. Now he's going to be coming up onto his first attempted Bubs drop. Definitely getting a Bubs drop loss here will be a rough patch for him. But he is up and oh no, I jinxed it, Comet, I'm so sorry. Oh,
it was just a bit too late, yeah.
Oh no.
Marlin doing the save and quit. Save those frames. Comet does get a second try though. So.
Alright, second try Bubs drop.
Gets the fast cycle as well. Comet's doing his best here to stay somewhat even with Marlin, but these mistakes are seriously costing him because Marlin's playing extremely clean.
Yeah, Marlin is playing it really well. Comet, you can tell this is a struggle run for him, and so it might just be better for him at this point to just say, all right, Marlin, I'll give you game one. Because at this point, a catch-up is going to be extremely hard. Marlin is just going to have to really, really struggle going into the last two chapters of the game. So that will be something that we'll have to keep an eye on, but, like...
Marlin's just going to town on this 5B, jeez. Oh. Heart troubles.
Marlin clubbing quite a bit on that heart, wow. Still a very, very good 5B time.
I think it was a 2:15 or 14. Yeah, it was quite impressive. Comet struggling a bit on this last part of Gauntlet.
Okay, but he is able to keep himself alive. That would have been a huge, huge deficit if Comet would have died there and had to redo the Gauntlet all over again. So props to him for being able to keep that one alive. Marlin now making his way through 6A, coming up onto Revo's nonsense here in just a little bit.
We'll see what he goes for here, because I know he made his own small strat that's slightly, according to him, more consistent. He doesn't even get the momentum to begin with, so
yeah, doesn't get the momentum, but he's still able to snag that 6B tape.
Comet missing the first feather there. Somewhat strange.
Comet is just having an off day, and this is not a point. This is definitely getting to at a time in the season where you don't want to have an off day, because if Comet turns around and has another rough run, that could spell the end of the season for him. Now both runners are making their way through reflection. Marlin is going with 6B, and it looks like Comet is going to be a 6A runner.
If Marlin gets a good 6B, he can get some serious time off Comet here.
Yeah, definitely.
Comet misdirecting that dash, it looked like. Recovering it pretty well.
Honestly, this race is going to be kind of hard for Comet to be able to make it back, especially with the deficit of just using 6A over 6B that he has on Marlin.
To be fair, 6B is quite a risky chapter to go for, since it's really easy to lose all the advantages that 6B would give, just because of how hard it is. Yeah.
That is true, and so if you have a really bad 6B, then that can ruin your deficits. Marlin is just showing the 6B who's boss, though.
Playing this 6B quite aggressively, taking the diagonal dashes.
It'll be interesting to see as we go into the off season, into our next season, as to how many more runners pick up 6B and how that becomes the mainstream strat. Versus now, where at the start of the season we had a lot more of a divide over who was doing 6B and who was doing 6A, versus now who is doing 6A and who is doing. Versus now we have more runners who are doing 6B at this point than are doing 6A.
Yeah. Marlin coming into the battle line fight quite a bit ahead of Comet. The 6B battle line fight is also significantly shorter than the 6A one, so looks like Marlin has a pretty commanding lead at this point.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to tell like how much time is going to be saved doing 6A or at 6B until you pretty much get to the end. But now Comet is coming up onto Battle and Boost.
And he's in.
And he's now begun his battle and fight. So both runners are now in their battle and fight. And, well, they're fighting battling.
Yeah.
Marlin is still just playing really well. Not seeing any real major mistakes coming from him.
Marlin is now in reprieve though, a section that's notorious for killing some runs. In particular in R, but here it can seriously be quite punishing. So we'll see how Marlin fares.
He's got through without the block keys, and now he's making himself alright, and he's made it. This fight has been going really, really well. Oh no, and he dashes himself into the spikes.
Comet taking 2 deaths at the same time though, so looking still like a pretty good case scenario for Marlin here. Marlin coming up on the end of 6B. Gets the heart. 1910 exit. Meanwhile, Comet is still not even in the second part of Battle Line, so it just goes to show how far ahead Marlin is right now.
Yeah, Marlin just playing extremely well, going now into Summit with a very, very commanding lead. As he's now making his way through to 500 meters, and Comet is looking at trying to wrap up his fight here. He's on the last screen. We'll see how he fares. He's doing pretty well so far, and he's got the last hit on the battle in. Marlin taking a death over in 500 meters.
Yeah, looking like a round of 1 minute and 20-second lead for Marlin here. Ouch, Comet having some movement slip-ups here too.
And at this point, this one just looks like this is going to be Marlin's race. I know that this Summit has got... That Summit is still a massive chunk of the game, but you're a minute and 20 seconds behind in such a short run. It can be really, really hard to come back.
I do hope Comet doesn't tilt though. Hopefully he can bring it back for either game 2 or even just get a comeback here, because Marlin is taking a death now.
Yeah, Marlin taking a death in 1,000 meters. Both of these runners are playing extremely clean right now. No real major mistakes to be seen, but Marlin still holding that commanding lead. Comet running out of stamina there, going a little blinky as he's making his way through to begin 500 meters for himself.
Marlin's on 27 pace right now. Like a low to mid 27.
Which that is just crazy to be able to pull off a time like that in a race. It's just the amount of just precision play that has to happen to achieve a 27. Nice demo there from Marlin. Very well done.
I think the fastest time ever achieved in a race was a 27:20 by Marlin earlier this season. So it just goes to show how seriously dominant he is in this category. Comet coming up on 1K now, while Marlin finishes up 1,500.
Marlin is having a very, very clean 1,500.
Comet taking a death there. Still recovers it rather nicely.
He's looking out, looking at getting closer to wrapping up his 1,000 meters as Marlin is making his way to through 2,000, coming up on to the auto scroller skip. And
Nice,
he makes it look so easy, just going through so fast.
Nicely done.
Like, very good play.
Yeah, Comet coming up on 1,500 now.
Nice demo. Oh, but he's a little bit low on that demo, and so he ends up taking a death there, but he's able to quickly recover that and just go straight through. Yeah, Comet is having a really good summit, just doing... he's playing... This summit is definitely showing to be one of his highlight parts of the run, and if he can just go and clean up in the early game specifically, he could really give Marlin a run for his money going into game 2.
He gets a fast cycle there too, yeah. He certainly is gaming. It's just this current lead seems... Ooh, Marlin missing the Marlin taking a death there after missing the corner glide or corner boost.
Both of these guys are gaming, and they are gaming well. You know, even though like this first game is looking a little bit rough for Comet, you still got to give him a lot of props. He was able to win it enough to be able to make his way here, and to be able to achieve a mid 28 is not easy, and especially when you're going up against an opponent like Marlin, you put yourself in quite a bit of a you're definitely the underdog in this situation.
Comet does get auto scroll with skip, it looks like.
So that is going to be huge for him to be able to have that.
Marlin now coming into 3K. Let's see how he closes this run out.
Ooh, Marlin missing up on the little wall boost there, but is able to back it up pretty well without having to take a death. And this downdraft has been looking really clean for him. Comet now entering 2,000 meters, doing what he can to try and make up the deficit. He's coming up on a key skip, missing the first little corner bit there, but is able to pick it up very well. Marlin now entering updraft.
Comet coming up on thread the needle. Takes a small death there.
Is able to thread the needle second try.
Looks like Comet's also making his way to 3K. Looks like he's on pace for a very low 29, or even possibly a 28 here. So his run is still very good.
Yeah, Comet definitely still playing a pretty good game. Again, just cleaning up those mistakes that he had in the early game, and he can definitely be showing to give himself a lot. Can be definitely showing promise there against Marlin.
Meanwhile, Marlin coming into no draft now. It's this final section. See if he can close it out.
Then, Marlin taking a death right away on flag 3. Oh, and he dies again.
Okay, he's out of flag 3. Takes the flag as well.
Alright, he takes flag 2, is able to get the little wall bounce up there. And he's now up to flag 1, and that will be Marlin coming away with a 27-2x for his run in game 1 against Comet. 27-27. An excellent way to start out this quarterfinals. Extremely good.
Yeah.
Like, GG's to Marlin.
Marlin had some, I want to say 8 or 9 unintentional deaths there, and still pulling out.
He had 9 unintentional deaths because he had 11 deaths in total.
Yeah.
So yeah, very well done from Marlin. Now Comet looking to wrap up his race, still looking at about I don't know if 28 is. It's probably going to be looking at about a high 28 at this point.
It's a little close, yeah.
Maybe a low. It's going to be looking more like it's going to be a low 29.
50 seconds. If he plays the end cleanly, he can still 28. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, it's going to require a really clean end, but it definitely is possible. Marlin onto flag, or not Marlin. Comet onto flag 4. And to be able to achieve now, looking like with the time that he's getting, even with the Bubs drop fail, he's playing really close to his. He's actually playing really, really well.
Looks like it is going to be a 28 here.
Yeah, we'll see how his flag 1 movement goes. Hopefully he can pull out this 28. And it looks like he is going to be pulling out the 28 with a 28.57. Coming out for his first run. GG Comet, very well done.
Yeah,
losing
GG.
the race by a minute and a half exactly, actually, which still, I mean, his PB is a mid 28, so he played really close to PB there for himself. So that was actually a really, really good run for Comet.
Yeah, that was an 819 summit. That's that's some gaming right there.
Yeah, Marlin an 816, and Comet was able to snag an 819. So GG's to both of those runners for that first game. And now it looks like runners are gonna be taking a little bit of a break and going into the second race here.
Yeah, I do want to see how Comet takes himself into the game 2 here, because if he continues playing well, at least if he continues his play from the late game there, he can definitely pull out some really good times and like compete with Marlin here.
Oh, he definitely could. And it's also too like Marlin went ham on that first one. I'm really I wonder if Marlin is going to if Marlin's even going to be able to keep up the stamina, because that is exhausting to be able to just go right up and pull out a 27-27 right off the bat, and then have to go and run it right back essentially after only just a couple minutes of a break.
Yeah.
That can be exhausting. And so it'll be interesting to see if Marlin's able to keep that consistency up. I think Marlin's got a pretty good chance at keeping up consistency and being able to keep it going, but it will be interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
So we will see how this run goes as we go into game 2. And it looks like they're going to be looking at getting ready. Getting ready for game 2, and by the looks of what I'm seeing, Comet has had the best summit in this race, the best summit he has ever had. So very well done from him. Like, honestly, the biggest mistake that really Comet showed was he struggled a little bit in the early game, and specifically in the first 2 chapters, and then Mirror Temple was his biggest struggle. And you look at the comparison between Marlin and Comet in their Mirror Temples, Marlin, without the fail on the Bubs drop, was able to get a 336 in his temple, and then Comet, with one Bubs drop fail and kind of struggled a little bit near the end when he entered the mirror, had a 4 flat. That right there is like what was his biggest struggle in terms of, like, when I say he needs to clean up the early game, it really isn't much like different in comparison to his Mirror Temple and Reflection. As you even look, he lost 30 seconds alone in those 2 chapters to Marlin, and that right there is a minute.
Yeah.
So just cleaning up those 2 chapters right there could easily show a huge difference for what his next run could be.
Yeah. Just looking at these journal times alone, like the ones that stick out to me are chapters 2, 5, and 6, because those are the kind of times you would see in like a high 29. But Comet still pulls out a high 28 instead of staying a full minute in the other chapters, so he definitely can get a much better time here, so potentially we could see a very good race here.
Yeah, and hopefully we were able to get that out. We are looking like we are getting ready to get started with game 2. And as we go into game 2, again, wanting to see what ways that these runners clean up the way from game 1 and go into game 2. But this is where it all comes down to the wire for Comet. If Comet takes another loss here, that will spell the end of his season. And if Marlin takes the win here, he will move on to the semifinals.
Yeah, just a reminder that he'll be playing the winner of the next match we have coming up after this, so stay tuned for that as well.
And that's Psyched versus Black Pair, correct?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, that should be right.
All right, now the runners are jumping into Forsaken City. Now in the game 1, we saw Comet took a death, and Marlin snagged a 59 city. So we'll see if Marlin's able to repeat that performance from game 1.
Marlin with a slight movement slip up right in the beginning.
Marlin now once again going on the upper route.
This is the demo to get under. Comet just staying safe with the bottom out here again.
Yeah, Comet staying safe. Definitely like I know that in game 1, Comet I think attempted to go up, but then missed it up.
Yeah.
And so we will see. Marlin now is making his way through. Oh no, Marlin now going a little bit short on his spikes there, or on his bunny hop. Sorry, wow, my brain. And then ends up going right into the spikes, taking a death. Kind of had a little bit of an interesting wall bounce there, but is still able to move up and clean up with a 104 city. Very well done from him.
Yeah,
is now
both
Comet is
players
coming
having
in
a somewhat-
right behind. There's less than a second difference between the two runners as we come out of city.
103, yeah. Both players definitely having a bit of a rough time in city there, but it's not too big a deal since it's so short. Coming into old site. Let's see if the gap widens or if Comet can, you know, even get ahead here.
Alright, this race is looking really close. Both runners able to get the cutscene skip now. Comet did mess it up and retried a little bit early. Actually, looking at it, looks like Comet is in the lead right now.
Yeah, we have a bit of a desync here, so I do also think that Comet is ahead.
Yeah, Comet is ahead by less than a second at this point. This is an extremely close race as we go into battle in. Both of the runners moving really, really fast. Trying to keep up on where we are at each screen transition. Oh, and Comet misses the ring, so Marlin is going to be jumping himself back into the lead at this point.
Looks like Comet was losing time to Marlin just off moving alone as well, so...
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that'll definitely do something, because Marlin just has really, really clean movement. But he's going to be wrapping up his battle and chase at a 249. Comet is going to be right behind him with a 250. So this is still a really, really close race. We'll see how the standings go at the end of Awake here.
Yeah, Awake probably one of the easiest checkpoints in 2A to mess up here. Just because
Comet missing a corner boost there, so that's going to make him lose a little bit of time.
Marlin looks like he has a pretty clean Awake here. See if Comet can follow. And both
322, 320. Marlin's got a 2-second lead coming out of Old Site, and this is already a better standing for where Comet was at this time in game 1.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see how Resort treats the two of them though. Definitely a chapter to look out for in a kind of close race like this.
Oh yeah, easily.
Comet missing some corner boosts there. Gonna lose a little bit of time.
Oh no,
and taking a death.
Right into the... Oh no, Comet.
Marlin also taking a death in the key room. So he misses a cycle there.
Alright, so it's looking like Marlin is about one screen ahead. Even with a little bit of the desync here that we're getting, Comet seeming to be having some issues with his stream, but looks like we still should be fine.
Marlin's been having some small slip-ups here and there. Like missing corner boosts, accidentally dashing a little too early, so if those can really easily add up. The 432 going into huge mess. We'll see how Comet compares. Looks like a 437 here, so it's a 5-second lead or so for Marlin.
Yeah, we'll see how this all changes. Marlin playing his crates pretty well here at the start.
And he's through. Pretty clean out of Marlin as expected at this point.
Yeah, you would certainly hope that he'd be bringing some clean gameplay with the position that he himself is in, but Comet still is playing pretty well. That was a pretty clean crates for him.
Marlin in books right now.
With Comet coming up into books right behind him.
Excuse me.
534 on the bubble hit for Marlin. Comet right behind. We could very easily be seeing only a couple second difference. Marlin now missing, taking 2 deaths in this room, not able to get over the dust bunnies. We see a 4-second lead from Marlin at the book tap, but that might change here with the 2 deaths that Marlin had in laundry already.
Ooh, Comet accidentally going onto the wood. Gets the demo there.
Comet goes for the demo. Nice job from him. 605 on the bubble tap, on the, yeah, the bubble button, whatever it is.
Comet almost dying there.
Comet almost dying, playing it a little safer there, so he's able to make up a couple of seconds.
So 3 seconds behind now? Yeah, he did. It looks like he didn't actually land on the thing and just did a wall jump there instead, so he didn't get his dash back.
Alright, now Marlin is coming up onto demo dash.
Comet also almost missing a cycle there. Able to recover.
Oh!
Marlin retrying there instead of
Marlin retrying early. That will lose him a couple of seconds. That could be a potential that Comet needs to try and take the lead. Marlin, oh no! Marlin misses a demo dash. He was just barely brought his hitbox up just a little bit, and Marlin retries early again.
Comet misses.
And Comet missing demo dash as well. We are seeing just a massacre here at demo dash. Marlin is able to get through. Comet now, he's able to go through on his second try. I honestly don't know who's ahead at this point. It looks like it's Comet.
I think Comet is ahead by some 5 to 10 seconds actually.
Yeah, because Marlin took 3 deaths there. That was an absolutely crazy segment. Marlin having a little bit of a movement buffer error there at the start of Oshiro.
At this point, I think both runners probably think that they're significantly behind, but it's actually
probably
a lot closer.
That was a crazy demo dash segment. Seeing a lot of love for Comet in chat. Very, very, that was absolutely crazy. And both of these runners, oh no, and Comet now takes a death there. Dashing a little bit too early into the dust bunny. We'll see how this plays out. Marlin is just overall playing this section cleaner, but he had so many mistakes in
801
in demo dash that it'll be interesting to see where the time looks.
I think it looks to be about tied actually. Comet has, I think, a 1-second lead coming out of resort.
Right, you could definitely be seeing some fatigue coming from these runners because this is a best of 3, and it is really hard to do 2 runs of games straight up back to back.
Marlin taking a little bit of a break on the menu there. Looked like. Alright.
This run is basically tied right now. As we go into Golden Ridge, definitely not what I expected for this run, but both of them just played. Demo dash was just weird. Marlin now taking a death, so that will secure Comet's lead. Comet having to recover there for a second. He's able to make that movement stuff work really well.
Gets the fast strat there too. And archery. It's a pretty good recovery from Comet here.
Some really good movement. Marlin now missing the bubble, but he's able to get up. Marlin is just now, he's starting to really struggle. Definitely the fatigue of this run could definitely be seen here.
Comet missing the sentry wall boost here. Might mean he's behind now.
Yeah, Marlin is now back in the lead. We have traded leads so many times in this chapter already.
Marlin gets first block list, extending his lead. Oh, and Comet misses.
Goes into that. Oh no, that will now. This will extend Marlin's lead a little bit more. Oh, and he misses the second time again. Or not the block list strat.
First block list now. Comet certainly looks a little tilted.
I don't know why you would try to go for block list at that point. You've missed the ultra strat twice. I question that choice.
At that point, I think it's more a desperation play, possibly tilt.
Oh no, yeah, Comet is just really starting to struggle here. As now Marlin is just extending his lead quite a bit.
Yeah, I think Marlin has to be some 20-30 seconds ahead already.
Yeah, because that was a huge... Yeah, that was a huge struggle point for Comet there, which now Marlin is going to be putting himself in quite a bit of a lead. And it's going to be hard to come back.
At this point, all Comet can do is just try to recover. Try to play his best, not get tilted, yeah. Marlin taking a death there in cliff phase, so Comet definitely
Marlin taking 2 deaths.
Gets out of the room successfully. Ooh, Comet looks like he's behind. Oh, he gets it still.
Alright, Marlin now making his way out of
Comet not having enough speed to get the ultra there.
10:45 for Marlin.
Looks like Comet will exit Ridge at around 11:15.
So we're seeing about a 30-second lead for Marlin as we go into Chapter 5.
Yeah, it's 11:17.
31 seconds for Marlin as we go into Mirror Temple. That was a really messy ridge from both of them.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how mental plays a role here.
Oh yeah, definitely the mentality here is going to be it's going to be huge going into these especially this chapter with Bubs Drop coming up. If you're doing Bubs Drop pre-tilted, it can be a struggle to try and get Bubs Drop. So we'll see Marlin going for the depths corner boost, and he's able to get it this time.
Let's go.
As now Comet is
at a certain point, we might be seeing, if one of them misses Bubs Drop, they might just go for the key just to be safe.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how they play their 5Bs, because this has just been this race has definitely been a struggle for both of them in comparison to game 1. So we'll see how they go and play this out. Comet missing the button there, but he's now coming up onto Depth's corner boost.
No corner
he's
boost.
Not able to get the corner boost this time. Matches the same kind of outcome for
Marlin coming into 5B now. See how he fares.
Marlin now into 5B. And oh no, not able to get the launch off that block, so he's going to have to take a death there, giving a little bit of opportunity for Comet to make up some time. And we will see now as Marlin goes for his first attempt at Bubs Drop.
Gets a first try.
And he's got it first try. That has definitely got to be a massive sigh of relief for Marlin. Just seeing the struggles that he had in the last 2 chapters between Ridge and Resort, to be able to just get through Bubs Drop is just got to be a huge, all right, we did that. Now we can just get through the rest of the run. Granted, the rest of the run is still 6B and Summit, but for Marlin, but that definitely has got to be a pretty decent sigh of relief for him, knowing that he's made it through that segment of the run.
Comet coming up on Bubs Drop as well right now. Let's see.
You see, Comet did have one fail in game one. Let's see if he's able to beat it, and he's able
He
to make it
gets
through
it
first
on the
try.
second frame.
That is very well done from him now. Again, major sigh of relief as they move into finishing up their 5B. Marlin is now in the mirror, making it through the descent.
Oh, Comet!
Oh!
Misdirecting
Both
his
Comet
dash there.
and Marlin taking deaths there.
Marlin looks like he's going for a different cycle here.
Oh, wow!
That's the
What? What? He
That's
gets
the
the
one
one cycle seeker jump? Wow!
Did take a death on it earlier, so I'm not sure he actually saved any time with it, but still, mighty impressive.
That was insane. Marlin just pulling out all the big stops here.
Yeah, I think at this point Marlin just thinks he needs to play more aggressively to make up for his mistakes earlier.
Yeah, I don't know if he knows what, he probably still thinks he's really far behind.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, his ridge exit was probably around, if I remember correctly, it was a little under 11, so that was around a mid-29 pace. Still, Marlin comes out of 5B with a still pretty significant lead, but I think Comet has brought it back a bit.
Yeah, Comet's been playing this Chapter 5 pretty well.
Ooh, drops the, good recovery.
He drops it, but he recovers again. A little bit cleaner than his last one. His last one, he had to kill that, he had to drop that seeker twice. Oh no, and Comet's not able to pick up Theo on the second time, not able to get there fast enough.
And he's out.
But Comet is able to make it through with a 15-11.
Marlin coming into Lake now, not Lake, Hollows. We'll see how his cassette grab goes. This is the momentum
not
again.
able to get the cassette strat again. It's now Comet taking a death on Lake Skip.
The situation certainly looks rather grim for Comet, but with the way Marlin's playing right now, he has a chance here if Marlin makes some mistakes in 6B here.
Yeah, no, the 6B right now is going to be the thing that is what I think will be the determinant for this race.
Yeah. Yeah, both of them going pretty clean so far. Oh, Marlin takes a death right as I speak. It's like Comet's coming up on the end of Hollows at this point. Probably going to be in the battle line fight within some 45 to 50 seconds. Looks like Marlin takes another death.
This could be an opportunity here for Comet to definitely be making up some time. If these deaths start snowballing for Marlin, this could mean that Comet can turn this around.
Comet taking a death on the falling section. Gets through the rest rather cleanly. Marlin now in the battle line section, once again answering before Comet enters his. So he definitely still has a pretty sizable lead at this point.
Both of these runners are playing pretty well. Oh, and as I go to even say something, Marlin goes right into the spikes.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to do the understrap there in the first run. Misses it though.
Alright, he goes up, in, up.
Ooh, hits the bumper. Recovers it very nicely.
Comet now able to snag Featherless. Very well done from him.
Marlin coming up on the last room here. Comet once again still in the first stage of the battle line fight while Marlin finishes up. He's gonna have to hope for some big deaths here, or else he's gonna have a really tough time trying to get.
Yeah, Marlin has definitely ran away with this one.
And he finishes at 20:04. Marlin is on low 28 pace. He has posted summit times like it's sub 8 here, so we'll see how he finishes up.
Yeah, definitely gonna be looking at for a low 28 for this one. I don't. The early game was pretty messy, so for him to be able to snag a 27 would be. I think that's impossible at this point, especially now that he's already taken his first death here in the summit.
See if Comet gets the fast cycle on this last run of battle line. Looks to be around a minute behind. Meanwhile, Marlin comes into 500 now.
Marlin taking a death there. He's going for zipperless. I'm not really sure what he's doing. Oh wow!
Yeah, that strat is a new strat found by I think Zcat a couple of weeks ago, and it saves around 0.1 or 0.2. Takes a few deaths there though.
Yeah, Marlin is probably thinking to himself that he's gonna need to get this run just go as aggressive as possible to try and get as good of a time as he can.
Looks like Marlin's coming up on 1500 meter now.
Comet,
Yeah, Comet
is making his way through 500.
certainly still a good deal behind, but see if Marlin gets the fast cycle here. And he, ooh, doesn't get his dash back.
Gonna have to play that very defensively, but he's able to go through without a death.
Marlin now entering 2000 meters. A lot of the deaths in 2K can be really costly, so.
Yeah, they can be. So it'll definitely be interesting to see with Marlin and the way that he's been playing. Definitely has not been his cleanest race. So we'll see how he's able to pull this one through.
Meanwhile, Comet coming to 1500. Gonna have to try and match Marlin's 1500.
And that's gonna be pretty hard to do.
He did have a small slip up, but I'm not sure it's enough for Comet here. Ooh, takes it pretty close there. Gets the Comet takes the death in the very beginning. Takes it. Not sure Comet knows the death strat here either, yeah. Just going to re-enter the room.
Alright, now Marlin is making his way through 2500 as Comet is entering 2000.
There is a 30-minute delay on Comet's stream. So
30 seconds.
No, yeah, 30 seconds.
That would be right? Quite the delay there.
30 seconds. So it is closer than it might seem, but Marlin definitely still has the lead.
Yeah, Marlin's still got himself a pretty commanding lead.
Marlin now entering 3K. On pace for like what looks like a 28:30 or so. So yeah, definitely worlds apart from his last run, but
yeah,
it looks like it still might be enough to get him the win here. Looks like we're getting a sync here, so we'll see how close it is.
As now Marlin is entering into 2500 as this sync is getting implemented. It's hard to kind of really implement a sync sometimes just with the way Comet's stream is as well.
Looks like Comet had his slight movement error towards the end there, but okay. Gets keys, good.
Alright, so definitely you can see that the lead wasn't as commanding as it looks, but it's still pretty big to be able to comment at the beginning of 2500 as Marlin is making his way through downdraft. I think just at this point, Marlin has got this one. I don't know unless there's something major that happens.
Gets through flag 20. Probably one of the hardest flags in 3K. So yeah. I'm not really sure if if Comet can really take this back anymore, but he's gonna have to hope for a pretty big mistake now out of Marlin. Now entering 3K, while Marlin's already on flag 14 here, so...
Oh, Marlin is taking a death. But it's quickly back through there.
Ooh, okay. Good recovery from Comet there. Accidentally bumped into the wall there instead of landing on it. Comet now leaving downdraft as Marlin enters the last bit of updraft.
Marlin now under flag 4 as Comet is into updraft.
Marlin now on flag 1, looks like he's gonna get a 28-20 or so.
That a 28-20 for Marlin, 28-21.
Yeah.
Is going to be the match. There's going to be game, set, match for Marlin taking the series 2-0 over Comet. And overall, Marlin played pretty well. Both of these runners definitely not having as clean of races as they did in game 1, but in some ways that's kind of bound to be expected because you get into these matches with series and they're just, it can be exhausting to have to do a run like Celeste that is just very, very input heavy and just demands so much focus all the time.
Yeah, a lot of runners need breaks from this game just because their hands hurt. So. Yeah, playing this game for an extended period of time certainly is quite difficult.
It is
finishing up here. Yep.
Oh, and he's able to get the crystal, so he's able to recover that without needing to take a death.
Yeah.
But you know, playing this game for an extended period of time is not easy, and to be able to try and maintain the amount of focus that you need, especially too without trying not to tilt. Going from a game 1 into a game 2 is just not easy, but Comet will be wrapping up with a 29-20.
29-30, yeah.
Or 29-30, sorry, my bad.
Another good summit from Comet. It's an 823, so.
Yeah, 823 is still pretty good. Last run he had
He had I think an 819 was last run, so.
Yeah, so not that much slower than game 1. So very well done from him in this summit.
Yeah.
So we will see if we're going to get any runners in for a commentary. It doesn't look like we're going to be getting them in for interviews. None of them are going to want to be, neither runners are going to want to jump into a interview, which is fine. But again, you know, this race was really good. Both runners still played pretty well, about a minute difference between the two runners.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we saw a lot more errors in this one, but still, these times are quite fast.
Yeah, no,
Like,
very well done.
Yeah.
And so GG's to Marlin and Comet.
Yeah, GG's.
Very well done for both runners, but unfortunately this will be the end of Marlin's season. Not Marlin, sorry, Comet season. I'm good, I caught myself. And then coming up next, we're going to have Sight versus Black Pair, and the winner of that race will be racing Marlin next week. So you guys are going to want to stay tuned for that. That will be coming up here in just a little bit. Again, my name is Zojalix. Thank you for joining me in this race. Tilu, do you have anything to say before we go to intermission?
Not really. Just GG's. Well done by both racers, and yeah.
All right, I hope you guys enjoy Psyched versus Black Pair, and that'll be in just a few minutes. But for now, we're going to toss it over to a quick intermission.
Mm-hmm.